Let's get some price picks in today, guys. Tonight's picks are going to be for the NFL slate. I like some picks from the Dallas game and from the Rams game, but I'm also going to be giving out a Thrive Fantasy pick, which I'll get into in a bit, talk a little bit about more later, and explain a couple concepts about correlation, which you guys may have seen in the price pick space recently. NFL has very, very strong correlations, and I'll get into that right now with the first pick. We're going to go with Pollard on the under 21.5 receiving yards. And we're also going to take another receiving yards prop from the same game and his teammate, Michael Gallup. We're going to grab his over 32.5 receiving yards. Now, usually you'll see people sort of grab the over on both these guys, grab the over on the passing yards for the quarterback. But in this sense, since we're not grabbing the quarterback, I like this because if Michael Gallup's catching these yards, it's likely or more likely that Pollard's not catching these yards. And since we're not throwing the QB in here too, we're hoping that that sort of happens. You know, Gallup gets the yards, Pollard doesn't. So that's going to be the first picks. And the second pick is going to be for the LA Rams game. And I'll go on them right away. Oh, I can't do that, I guess. We're going to go with Stafford. Now, Stafford's not going to be on the OddsJuice dashboard. I'll show you the value in a bit. But I'll tell you why we're grabbing him. It's pretty much what I just explained. This time we are taking the QB and we're going to take both his receivers to go over on the yards. So I'll show you Pollard and Gallup, for example. Both these guys are positive expected value independently. But we're going to grab them to depend on each other to sort of in the entry, where we're grabbing one guy to go over, one guy to go under. So we get that positive expected value independently, and then hopefully that correlation where Gallup is getting yards and Pollard isn't. So we're going to hide these because we're taking these. But next is going to be on the LA Rams. And you'll see here, Cooper Kupp is the pick I sort of base this entry around. He's at minus 117, so 54% likely to go over 57.5. We're also getting that, 58.5, and we're also getting one extra yard of protection. So we're going to grab him as the over 57.5 right here. And we're also going to go with Puka as the second guy. Now, before, I believe his line was like 60.5 on price pick. Unfortunately, I moved to 62.5. But the reason I'm still going to take him is because we have Matthew Stafford here. So obviously, if Stafford's throwing 278 yards, the vast majority of those yards are going to be to his two main wide receivers. So that's why I'm going with these two guys to complement him, even though they're not technically on the OddsJuice dashboard. When you're making entries like this, especially if you're taking two wide receivers, you want to throw in that last guy. And the reason why it's different from this is because we're not throwing in the QB, as I've explained. So this is going to be the entry on price picks. Now, I'll show you how this worked on Underdog. I hit this morning on the Buffalo game here. So you could see I took Trevor Lawrence, Kirk, and Ridley all over. And because Trevor Lawrence got 283 passing yards, of course, the vast majority of the yards to his main wide receivers. Same with Josh Allen. You can see here, Stephon Diggs got all the not all the passing yards, but Allen crushed that. So obviously Diggs is more likely to crush that. So that's how sort of the example works. And that's what I did on price picks. Now on Thrive, I did a similar concept with this Arizona-Cincinnati game. Joe Burrow over, with Jamar Chase over, Dobbs and Brown all over. Now I want to show you how powerful this is. You can see $5 to win $51. Now on Bet365, where these guys sort of bake in correlation, you could see I'm only getting $5 into 33.75. So I'm only getting 6.75 times my money compared to on Thrive, where I'm getting 10.2 times my money. So you can see there's a massive difference in that. Exact same entry. You can see Burrow, Chase, Dobbs, Brown all over. You can see here, Burrow, Dobbs, Chase, Brown all over. And I'm getting a completely different payout. So in the long run, I'm not saying this is going to hit tonight, but if it does, you know, these guys are all correlated because QB with main wide receiver, QB with main wide receiver, and they're in the same game. So if there's a lot of offense, you see a lot of passing yards. So both of the QBs are also correlated to both go over together. So I really like that. And Thrive is sort of a newer book. I don't know if you guys really use it, but if you don't, we do have a sponsorship code with them. So if you sign up to Thrive using the link in the description and deposit at least $25, you'll get a deposit match up to 100%. So it could be even more than 25. And if you do that, email us at info@oddjuiceinc.com saying done, and we'll set you up with a free month of OddsJuice just alone. No credit cards needed. We'll set you up with a free month and you'll get that deposit match on Thrive. And essentially, I did this for the Arizona-Cincinnati game, but I'm going to be doing it for the rest of the games throughout the night and see if anything hits. And we'll see in the next video if those did pay off. I'm not saying they will, but that's sort of the concept we go with in the NFL. You can see it paid off this morning with that. And a couple of my other entries, you can see these are dead, but let's see what we got here. Same thing here, you know. I'm taking Bryce Young over with his wide receiver and another receiver here. Same thing with Tannehill. I'm grabbing his under with the under on his receiver. So things like that, you see it in pay off here. But that's sort of the concept we're going with. Similar here. Actually, this is not. This is just a random entry. And similar here. This is dead though. Anyways, that's going to be the picks for today. If you guys do want to sign up for Thrive, use the link in the description. We'll set you up with that free month.